Hi Scorpio, welcome to my channel. My name is Madeline Parker. This afternoon I'm going to do a read for you guys for the month of June 2020. And I thought I would do all 12 signs for June because it's halfway through the year and June has a lot of interesting things happening in it. We've got 2 major eclipses, a lot of planets in retrograde. So I thought I would take a look. And I like to do tarot astro studies because I find there's so much going on astrologically that I love how the tarot sort of pull the story together and make it one cohesive story. So that's what I'm going to do here. And so I do like to think that these reads really pertain to whatever planet you have in the sign of Scorpio, whatever house Scorpio covers, your sun, your moon, mostly for your ascendant, because I align all these planets to your ascendant. All right? So I hope you are having a good day and are well, and thank you for watching. And here we go. All right, so we're going to start the month off for you guys in June 2020 with the sun in your 8th house. So that's going to be, it's in the sign of Gemini in your 8th house. So that's going to be exploring because the sun really shines and Gemini is kind of a interested energy and communication and 8th house is really exploratory. It's like going deep on issues. So you might be having the sun might be shining some light on some of your deep things going on inside. Some fears might be showing themselves up that are going to, when the sun moves into Cancer, you're going to go into the 9th house and you're going to explore possible healing modalities or methods that are, you might go introspective during this Cancer in the sun in the 9th house so you can seek more understanding and beliefs around some of the stuff that may have been highlighted during the sun in your 8th. Then we have Mercury in your 9th house going retrograde on the 18th. So that's going to be in your 9th house indicating communicating about some of these ideas, maybe writing about them, possibly exploring business options around it, possibly exploring communication around traveling or writing around these new beliefs. And Venus in your 8th house in retrograde, so you are going to possible relationship from the past, exploring some deep psychological, intimate issues that have not been resolved, possibly coming up in relationships, but also creative projects or finances and businesses, and you confronting some fears about doing some businesses or projects that are very beautiful in Venetian, and maybe you're afraid they don't make money. So you're afraid you might be coming up against a fear around some opportunities that are coming to you, okay, around projects or relationships from the past. That you may not have complete faith that the divine will provide through, because 8th house issues are fears around the presence of a divine and that there's a divine and that there's a sacred protection. So you hang on to things, you make choices out of fear, from deep trauma, because Scorpio comes into this life with a lot of trauma, with recent trauma. So a lot of these Scorpio, when you have planets in Scorpio, you're dealing with some energetic psyche trauma in your soul psyche that seeks clearing. So Scorpio have that, a lot of that I find in there. I think that when you come as Scorpio ascendant, it's very recent. I think it's possibly last life is been still very much trauma. You know, you may have had a very bad accident or a war issue, something in a war. All right, so for Scorpio, Mars is in your 5th house, direct in Cancer, in the Pisces. It's a very soft energy, reflective, seeking again higher channelings around possibly creative projects. But it's in direct motion, so you might be doing actions in its Pisces 12th house, maybe on your own. 4th, Jupiter in your 3rd house, learning in RX, possibly communication, 3rd house, small businesses around and siblings, issues, maybe light, more like around an issue in your 4th house around family. In your 3rd house, siblings or neighborhood or issues coming back that you can add divine light in on this time. You can see a spiritual solution around it. You come back, and because this is involving in your destiny towards your future, so there needs to be resolve so you can influx some spiritual light into the experience and then take it forward, like healing around it. Then we've got Saturn in your 4th house, RX, so maybe going home, your soul home, and a career around that, career soul home, like careers around properties, that your soul destiny calling. And then Uranus, for the long haul, by the way, that will last for the long haul, we've got Uranus in the 7th house, in Taurus. So projects expanding financially through business contracts or close personal relationships that involve contracts, right? It's 7th house. Neptune in your 5th house, direct, I think. Still, it does go retrograde later, I think, in July. Anyway, Neptune in your 5th house in the sign of Pisces. Again, that echoes that Mars, that sort of channeling and getting sort of dreamy creative projects, or being with a relationship alone and creating projects with them, and sort of channeling it and putting action into it, because we've got Mars there. And then we've got Pluto in your 3rd house, confronting in Capricorn, confronting the ability to operate in the world in a practical level, speaking your truth, not being afraid to rock the boat with your truth, but also communicating your truth in a way that doesn't cause harm, but that actually is helpful and progresses the situation. And then we've got these eclipses. Well, we've got this North Node in your 8th house. So you are learning to explore fears. In Gemini, communication, writing, exploring, healing through exploring some of this trauma that you have in your psyche that needs to be explored and creatively communicated around, and Gemini energy into. So intellectualizing around it, so that you then you have a shift in your belief system, because you're going to face a fear. You're going to realize there's a fear that's holding back. Okay, so the moon hitting your 2nd house, this eclipse in Sagittarius in your 2nd house, maybe that's lucky and money. Maybe you break through these 8th house fears and you sort of resonate at a higher frequency, and that sort of brings money in. That's a very Scorpio sort of transformation, all these transformative energies, and then you suddenly make money. Can happen. You resonate at that frequency, right? So then we've got the solar eclipse in Cancer hitting your 9th house. So I'd say something's going to happen that gives you a major belief shift with that eclipse. That's the culmination. That's the end of this Capricorn Cancer eclipse cycle. So I'd say there's a resolve of a belief system. So let's have a look and see what the cards have to say for Scorpio for June 2020. Thanks again for watching and being here. And if you'd like a personal read, my email is below. So, all right, Scorpio, let's have a look. I have some Scorpio. I have a couple of planets in Scorpio, or one, I think. I'm suddenly blanking on it. But I have planets in my 8th house, so I've learned that 8th house means you will be tested to know if you will be tested in your faith in the divine, the presence of the divine. So, let's have a look for Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Ascending, and all planets Scorpio. Thank you, Spirit, for being in this read with us. 2 of Wands, Hermit, 10 of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. And did I say that I like to mix these 2 formats together? I think I did. All right. Queen of Swords. Interesting, this Tower card, which is very Pluto, 8th house, transformative energies. Let's see what the bottom of the deck is. Ooh, and Page of Pentacles. I'm going to put that there, put that here. So, Scorpio, interesting. 2 major, 3 major arcana, 5 major arcanas. That is the 8th house, this releasing, quitting, partying. That's very much quitting an addiction, quitting to escaping. Looks like you're letting go, Scorpio. You're letting go. You've made a decision to let something go and to speak honestly. This is shifting your frequencies, no doubt about it. Look at that. This is putting you in the frequency, a much more abundant rate here, in alignment emotionally. This is what's going to happen. So with these communication planets and Mercury, and with your 3rd house Pluto placement in Capricorn, you're learning how to communicate in a way that keeps you emotionally in alignment, that speaks the truth, that tells what you think, what you like, sets boundaries, healthy, and learning to be more patient. But I do see Scorpio in these transformation 8th house planets that we're getting, that you're quitting the partying, or we could say the escape, or you could say the third party energy, or you could say the being a partier, or you could say understanding more of how out of alignment that this throws you, and financially out of alignment. Because there's a financial opportunity coming in for you, Scorpio. This is when I said that second house in that eclipse, when you become when you face this fear of being your honest truth, because what that means is you believe that there's a divine that's there. I don't know why I did that. Some people think there's no God, but anyway, you have faith in the presence of a divine, so you can now speak your truth, because you don't have to try to hold security in your life by not speaking your deep emotional truth, because Scorpio have a lot of emotional truths. They're very deep. They feel things very deeply, and so you understand you can be truthful in a way by tempering your fear and being honest in a way that pushes people away. So in other words, you're discovering a way to communicate your truth now by going inward and understanding what's important. It's like you've let go of a need to control, or you've let go of communicating everything. So in other words, you're being selective and you're making choices about communicating a truth that creates progress, that sends everybody on their true divine path. You know the difference now. You know what to hold back as well. And then you're quitting this Three of Cups energy, which is sort of, and then we're going down to balanced out into the Two of Cups. So you're learning how to be more honest in life, and to not just be, because there's a tendency, instead of being honest, to escape the situation, right? Third house is sort of being a partier, escaping, but that is towering. We get the Tower card. This is a complete change. This is the rebirth, the transformation of where you're letting go, which would be trying to control things, because you have pain in your heart. So instead, you're quitting the energy. You're quitting also relationships that are frivolous, that are not meaningful, and holding on to the ones that are true, and you're aligning more with your honest people. You can be honest and truthful with your family. That's that fourth house energy. And you're becoming very clear. You're going inward with these planets in Cancer, retrograde energies, right? So we're going, and plus we've got those Pisces planets. So we're going very inward to become clear on what relationships, what is just a party, and what is someone that you need to be patient with and hold on to. And you're making progress financially. You're realizing what relationships to work on, which ones to keep, and which ones throw you out of alignment. And those are going to go tower. You're going to, wow, the world. This is very much a read where you're sort of learning to master an aspect of yourself on an emotional level by setting boundaries and cutting away frivolous things that just tax you, frivolous relationships that just throw you out of alignment, send you the wrong way. But you're going to work on the relationships because nobody's perfect, but you're going to understand the difference between the relationships that are just party people and relationships that truly require your tolerance and temperance, and to move away from those that don't, because you've developed a certain amount of emotional alignment with these transits in this 8th house. You let go. It's because Scorpio come in with trauma a lot from their recent past lives, right? But you're letting go of some. I think there's some wounding, some deep woundings, and karma that has been very much cleared, and you know what's true and what's real, and you know your destiny, so you can align with your highest best destiny, because you're going to align with the people that have your best interest and more positive. You're aligning with what feels right, and it's putting you in the abundant frequency, and you're spending a little time alone at the beginning of the month to sort of discover what that is. But it's becoming very clear in this month, because I get the King of Swords indicating decisions being made on what you love, what is divine, because that's in my divine section, what you do really love, who is your family, because that's what that 4th house placement would be for you guys in Saturn. So let's have a look here for Scorpio. We're just going to pull 3 moon cards. Bring love into the situation. It is time to release negativity. So that's this letting go card. It hit right there, didn't it? Nothing will come of the situation. Bring love into a situation, the end of a tough cycle. So, because we get bring love into a situation, I would say relationships that maybe you felt like, just because of that seventh house placement, Venus retrograde as well, relationships possibly that you thought were not possible are coming into you, working through your fears. These eighth house planets are going to come face to face with certain fears that will now enable you to go forward over situations you felt were not able to go forward with, that situations that nothing would come from. This Capricorn energy is now clearing that fear, and you've worked through these fears. So new moon in Scorpio. Isn't that interesting? So have faith in your dreams, right? So a lack of belief in something. Also, you could say that this Hangman is you had to let go of something that you did really love or want. It could be a romance, because we're getting this. This is very true. I should really incorporate a romantic vibe to this read. Just for fun, let's see. Can you say what some of these? So justice, in breaking through for justice in an area there where there was pain, and this involves relationships. So it could be close personal, because there was that seventh house. It could be with Uranus. It could be close personal relationships, a work relationship, or a divine partnership. But I would say that you're really letting go. I would say you're letting go of your side of the power struggle. You've made a decision that what you love is what really matters, and you want true love. So this could also, and you're ready to live and commit, cohabitate. That's also very much a possibility with this read. And you realize now from being alone what you do. You got clarity. There's an understanding what to let go of, what relationships to let go of, and what your highest, best destiny is. The energies are very much cleared for you to step into your highest, best relationship right now with these energies. All right, Scorpio, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Namaste.